You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. You are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where two friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm Amanda.
Oh, I'm Lucy.
And as we record this, it is April Fool's Day, and I have not yet fallen for anything on the internet. But it's only like 1 p.m., so a lot of game left.
Oh, I didn't even think about stuff I was seeing on the internet as probably a joke.
Yeah.
But also, in these times, I can't put anything past anyone.
That's why I was like dreading this day in general, because I was thinking about how gullible I am just in general, and how I have literally fallen for AI tricks live on this show.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm in trouble on April 1st. I'm in trouble.
You in danger, girl.
I'm in danger, girl. But I feel like I've stayed in my lane, and I have taken everything with a grain of salt.
But then you see a headline that's like, Trump fires all CDC employees.
And that's not an April Fool's joke.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's drink.
Yeah, let's drink. But to make my pairing make sense, we have to know what today's topic is. And we have a very special fan pick brought to us by Jamie Batchelor for their BFF, Brittany. Jamie and Brittany. And Jamie has chosen Crimes Solved by Fur, which explains Lucy's magnificent cowl.
Does it? Maybe I was just feeling fancy.
I don't think so. You sat down to record and I was like, oh, right. You look fabulous, darling. It's giving Cruella de Vil.
Yes.
It's
I'm going to an event after this. Let's
bullshit.
hurry it up.
You're going to pick up June at daycare.
Should I wear this?
Yes.
Just walk in.
Let her barf all over it.
Oh, she hasn't barfed in several days, okay?
Oh, God. No more scrambled eggs for that girl. Never again. Never forget.
Never. The great vom of 2025.
No. I don't know why I brought it up. I should have left that on the March happy hour, but I didn't. Mm-hmm. And I was instructed by Jamie to pair a fun cocktail, and I did. I couldn't think of a better cocktail to sip with this episode than a Salty Chihuahua, baby.
Oh, yum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you can kind of infer from the name that it is a spin on a salty dog using tequila instead of vodka. Because a salty dog is vodka, grapefruit, and salted rim, correct?
Yep.
But the recipe that I found and that I like the best doesn't use grapefruit, it uses lemonade. And it's so good for summer. And you can definitely use tequila in this for sure, but I have got to personally recommend elevating this cocktail by using Revel Spirits, which is an agave spirit. It's Avila, not tequila. So it has like a really gentle, just clean, crisp, amazing flavor that's like similar to tequila, but definitely different. It's in the same...
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's in the same family as an agave spirit, but it's technically not tequila.
Okay.
And I think that has to do with region more than like actual ingredients and preparation. But there is an amazing Avila brand called Revel Spirits that I want to shout out because this is not only a Minnesota-owned, but also a Black-owned liquor company called Revel Spirits, and they just launched their online sales program. So like before, you could only get them at a couple of stores around Minneapolis and Minnesota, but now you can order it online, and as long as your state allows the shipping of alcohol, you can get it, and it is so good. So I have to tell, yeah, you can. Also, I'm definitely bringing the fixins for these cocktails to our Maz trip to Lake Pepin, because I made, in a collaboration, Bill's doing some video work for them. So I did a handful of cocktails with Revel Spirits, specifically the Revel Blanco, which is what I used in this. And I made this amazing, like, Cadillac of margaritas with a little bit of Ancho Reyes liqueur.
Stop it.
Yeah, I'll bring that. And fresh squeezed lime, no bullshit lime juice.
No plastic lime.
No,
ball.
It's so fucking good. So I'll bring the fixins for that. I'll bring the fixins for this Salty Chihuahua. And I made, oh, look, you've got a thumbs up. Why does the internet do this to us?
Thumbs up?
But then it doesn't work for me.
Oh, the bubbles.
You get all the fun.
I can't with these reactions.
Y'all watch on YouTube.
Computers need to stop. Look, it's doing it again. Happening. Leave me alone.
I don't like this. This is egregious. Anyway, I also have made another one that's a twist on an Aperol spritz that uses Aperol, Revel Blanco, orange bitters, and lime juice. And it's gorgeous and it's so good. So I'll bring stuff to make all of these when we are together next month.
Speaking of Aperol spritzes, I, for some reason, left over from a party, had 2 full unopened bottles of Aperol. I sent them home with my sister to give to you.
Are you serious? So I will have like 2.5 bottles of Aperol for my summer playing?
Yes.
Okay, this is heaven. Okay, so get your Revel Blanco and look at all of the other amazing Avila agave spirits that they have on their website at revelspirits.com. It's RevelSpirits.com. And for this cocktail, I made it with 2 ounces of Revel Blanco, 1 fresh squeezed orange, and then I kept a slice for garnish, lemonade, and then topped it with orange bitters. You can rim the glass with salt for an extra kick, and voila, you have literally the best summer cocktail ever fucking made. It's so good. It's so refreshing. You can kind of see that my ice is a little bit starting to melt, but yeah, you just fill you rim your glass, which I skipped because I just didn't feel like dealing with the salt today, but fill it with ice, pour everything in, give it a stir. You're done. It takes like 2 seconds to make it. It's so tasty.
Dang. Okay. I'm at the Revel website. This is a gorgeous website. I just want to scroll through and look at all their photos.
Yeah, their stuff is amazing. Definitely give them a follow on Instagram, and then you can see a bunch of the cool videos that Bill has been working on that are starting to come out, and he did some great still shots that are already up there.
Cool.
But, I mean, shameless plug. But, like, I hadn't heard of them until Bill started working with them. And the owner came over to our house, and he's like the most amazing dude. And he's super clued into like music and events in the Twin Cities. It's just like one of these awesome people to know that just seems to like know all the cool things that are happening in town, which I'm so not.
I need to know more of those people.
I know.
You come across one once in a blue moon and you're like, Who are you?
I know.
Where
It's
did
like
you come from?
being visited by a spirit of like joy and fun.
Like an angel.
Literally.
You've been blessed with this person who is so much cooler than you could ever hope to be.
Hell yeah. I'll never be
Finger
that fucking
on the
cool.
pulse.
Finger on the pulse.
The pulse and the, I don't know, G-spot of the city.
Put your finger on the G-spot of the city with Revel Spirits. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I just did your
Free
new marketing
marketing.
campaign. Yeah, truly. I truly am not being paid to do any of this. I just was in the video and got to make these cocktails, and I fell in love with the brand, and now I'm like,
And now you're
I'm
on
an
a fucking
Avila
roll.
bitch.
No
I
one
love
can
it.
stop you. You're a speeding train.
I'm a
Free
speeding
marketing.
train fueled by agave spirits
Yum. From Revel Spirits.
from revelspirits.com. So
They
yeah, are
should
you
pay us.
sipping or sucking on anything today, or?
Oh, just a little Benjamin action.
I love that for you.
Yeah. Didn't have time to think ahead to have any sort of pairing. I got some really fancy like sour beer kind of things last week to have during recording.
Did
Turn my back
someone
for
who
1
lives in your
minute.
house drink them all?
Turn my back for 1 minute, meaning
Yeah.
7 days, and they're all gone. All 4 of them.
I swear this happens all the time. I mean, I don't really make liquor store runs, but Bill does because, well, more like dispensary
The
store
dry
runs.
one makes the liquor store runs.
Yeah, but because we have THC seltzers at all of our liquor stores, so you don't have to like go to a dispensary to get them yet. I'm assuming that will change down the road. But he came home with a case of Flavor Pixels, which is like our favorite THC beverages. And I saw it the other day and I was like, oh yeah, I'm so excited. I want to have one of those tonight when I go to bed. Went to reach for them. They were already all gone. It was like barely 24 hours later. I was like, did you really take down like 160 milligrams in like the last, because you know, he's such a sparkling water addict.
Yeah. That is
And-
a dangerous crossover for that man.
But he was cruising. He's working away on his computer. Like it's like our tolerance has gone
through the roof.
Yeah, it's like almost overboard at this point. But yeah, I did have friends over the other day to test out the Gravity Bong and watch Common Side Effects on HBO. Are you watching that? You're not watching
but
anything.
I know you like it.
Oh, it's so good, y'all.
Animated?
Yeah, it's an Adult Swim show, but it's like Mike Judge who did Beavis and Butthead and fucking King of the Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fucking brilliant, but it's like dark and captivating, and the music is so good, and the characters are incredible. I'm obsessed with it. It's probably my favorite show that's out right now.
I'll give it a try.
Highly recommend.
Animated shows linked to Adult Swim generally kind of cool me off.
I get it. But this is like, it's different. Give it a try. I think you'd actually really love it.
I bet if I gave it a try with a fucking Gravity Bong, I would love it.
You sure would. You sure would.
I would love a fish tank at that point.
And episodes are like 20 minutes, so it's not a huge investment of your time.
Okay.
So, but it's so fucking good. It's so
Okay.
fucking good. Anyway, okay, that's all the housekeeping that I have for the top of the episode. Shall we take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors and then come back to dive into your segment for fur, crimes solved by fur solving crimes?
For sure.
For sure. We are getting so close to our first gals trip, group trip with everybody for 2025. I can't wait.
It's going to be so good.
We're going to Greece, and I have already started thinking about my packing list for Mediterranean weather, baby. Vacation season is here. And I know that Quince is my go-to for making sure I have everything I need for traveling. This year, I am treating myself to the luxe upgrades I deserve with Quince's high-quality travel essentials at fair prices.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about how my daily black leggings make me look very American.
Yeah, let's do the linen.
Let's do like a cropped linen pant.
Oh,
Yeah, and I'm just going straight to Quince for that because they offer lightweight European linen styles starting at $30. Also washable silk tops so I can look like I'm put together.
Yup.
Comfy lounge sets, maybe for the airplane.
For the flight.
With premium luggage options and stylish tote bags to carry all of it. And the best part is all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. I am consistently shocked at their prices. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us, to you and me. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes, which we love because, again, you want to look put together but also comfortable. You want to make sure your wallet is comfortable and the clothes that you're purchasing are made ethically. And Quince offers all of that.
Absolutely. So for your next trip, treat yourself to the luxe upgrades you deserve from Quince. Go to quince.com/wine for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/wine to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/wine.
Having a young child in the house means I'm getting up earlier consistently than I ever have before.
Yeah.
And I never used to be like a breakfast person or like a morning beverage person that wasn't like ice water. That has changed. That has changed significantly. So because my body can't tolerate coffee, that's off the table. When we got started with Mudwater as a sponsor, that has changed my entire morning routine. It doesn't make me feel jittery. I don't get any kind of crash. My guts don't bubble up the way that coffee used to make me feel. And it just is, I'm starting off my day on the right foot with Mudwater because it gets rid of the brain fog. It makes me feel healthy. And it's just a nice little ritual to have in the morning.
I love it. Every ingredient in Mudwater's products is 100% USDA certified organic. It's non-GMO. It's gluten-free. It's vegan. It's kosher. And one of my personal favorites, there's also 0 sugar and no sweeteners added. So I can reach for this in the morning without having it totally derail my blood sugar for the whole day, which I love. And you know that I am a matcha enthusiast, so I cannot undersell their matcha starter kit. This is a must try. It's the perfect way to step into clean energy with matcha's calming, focused boost. It is so tasty. Honestly, like one sip, you feel like you're dancing barefoot in the grass. It's so good.
I'm into their turmeric starter kit. I love that kind of like golden tea sort of feeling. Great for the digestive system.
Yeah.
So if you're ready to make the switch to cleaner energy, head to mudwater.com and grab your starter kit today. Right now, our listeners get an exclusive deal up to 43% off your entire order, plus free shipping and a free rechargeable frother when you use code GALS. That's right, up to 43% off with code GALS at mudwtr.com. After you purchase, they'll ask how you found them. Please support our show and let them know we sent you. Keep your energy natural and refreshing all year long with Mudwater, because life's too short for anything less than clean, delicious energy.
Lucy's favorite fact and my least favorite fact is that traditional bed sheets can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat.
It's fascinating and disgusting.
It freaks me out so much, but like thinking more critically about this, that bacteria can lead to acne. It can cause like disruptions with your allergies. It can cause stuffy noses, like beyond it just being gross. It's not like great for your skin or your respiratory system to sleep on bacteria night after night. So Miracle Made offers an entire line of self-cleaning antibacterial bedding, such as sheets, pillowcases, and comforters that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth and require up to 3 times less laundry. What's not to love?
I can't decide what's my favorite part about Miracle Made sheets.
Yeah.
These sheets are infused with silver, real silver, that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leading them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. It's not going to smell like a boy's dorm room.
Yep.
Blech. And that same silver-infused fabrics that are inspired by NASA. Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, no matter the weather. If it's warm, if it's cold, they're going to regulate you, baby. So
I love that.
Yeah, so you get better sleep every single night. And stop sleeping on bacteria. Like
Yeah.
Amanda said, it clogs your pores, causes breakouts, causes acne. Sleep clean with Miracle. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands and feel as nice, if not nicer, than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. I love my Miracle sheets. I get so excited when they're up for their laundry, rotation.
Me too. I'm obsessed with them. So upgrade your sleep as the weather heats up, babes. Go to trymiracle.com/gals to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo GALS at checkout, you'll get a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/gals and use code GALS to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/gals to treat yourself. And thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. All right, we're back. That was a longer break than we intended it to be. Sorry to our editor, John.
I got jealous of Amanda's drink, so I went and made myself a vodka lemonade.
And I got jealous of Lucy's pen, so I went and packed myself a space flute. So now we're really doing it. So with our accessories in hand, Lucy, what is our background? Maybe psych. And I know there's a case for crime solved by fur.
There is a case. I also wanted to put, okay, so, I have a lot of fun glassware. I chose my Kentucky Derby glass because horses have fur and hair.
Oh,
they're different.
is the mane hair and the body is fur?
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
We'll get to the difference. There is a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
10 minutes in, it's gone off the rails. We're way more than 10 minutes in. I don't know what.
It's going to be a fun
What time
one.
is it? Okay, go ahead.
I don't know, because we took a 25-minute break.
We kind of did. Yeah, my bad.
So our fan picker wanted me to incorporate some dog grooming info here.
Okay, maybe they're a dog groomer.
I think that's the case.
Yeah.
But also she requested that we not be discussing the modern fur trade.
Oh,
Because she
No.
did not want to talk about any kind of animal abuse, violence towards animals. So
no.
we're going to steer pretty well clear of that. Starting from our definition, fur is defined as the fine, soft, hairy covering or coat of mammals.
Okay.
You might be wondering when hair becomes fur. According to BBC Wildlife, hair is an umbrella term for a range of essentially similar structures. So those include fur, wool, whiskers, bristles, and lashes.
Oh,
All of that is hair.
okay.
It's all keratin, I think.
Okay.
And it's these similar structures growing from the skin of mammals. That said, fur is widely understood to be the particularly thick hair that covers much of the body.
Yeah, I've got it in abundance on my poot and my underarms.
That's when hair turns
To
to
fur.
fur.
Yeah, my pits are long right now. Look at these.
Let me see.
Look at
Oh,
these.
you look like Corey.
Yeah, baby.
Nice.
I hate shaving my armpits. I only do it right before going to the beach or if I'm in a wedding.
Yeah.
But I don't shave my armpits very often. I don't want to. It's uncomfortable. I get razor burn. I don't like how itchy my pits are when it's growing back. And when I do shave them, I really just kind of buzz it so
Yeah.
you can't see it.
Yeah, I don't get razor burn on my pits.
Luck.
So
That's the only place I get it. I'm pretty safe on my poot.
we're reversed.
Yeah, but my pits I get. And I mean, I've tried so many different things. The exfoliating, the brand new razor, different. I just have the best success with just an electric trimmer and not like a razor to get that super close shave. My skin's just so fucking sensitive. And also, I'm almost 40. I'm married. I don't like if my husband
Who's looking at your armpits?
If my husband gave a fuck about my body hair, I wouldn't have married him. And you know what? Take that to the bank, people. Like the unrealistic fucking beauty standard, that shit grows back in 3 days. Am I supposed to shave my armpits every 3 fucking days?
Am I supposed to bathe every 3 days? Fuck off.
I'm barely doing that. Barely doing that.
So hair is a defining feature of mammals, as we know, and both hair and feathers are thought to have evolved from the scales of our reptilian ancestors.
Cool.
It is all keratin in different forms.
All right.
This transition may also have accompanied the development of warm-bloodedness. Yeah. So by trapping a layer of air against the skin, hair helps an animal maintain a constant body temperature by buffering it against external cold or heat.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. So like, well, we'll kind of get to it. But, well, we are talking about dinosaurs and things like that. But what they call them protomammals existed tens of millions of years before the dinosaurs.
What?
Yeah. So here's a little bit of a deeper look from National Geographic. If we look to feathers, for example, plenty of non-avian dinosaurs had them. Evolution just allowed birds to co-opt the insulating, flashy structures to take to the air. So I have thought about this before. I think I openly thought about this on the show. To be the first animal ever to fly.
Can you fucking imagine?
Like
the guts.
Are you launching yourself off a cliff? Are you taking off from the ground? Did you fall and then all of a sudden you panicked and you flapped your arms and then you were soaring above the clouds?
Here's my theory, having done no research on this whatsoever, but I
or thought about it before just now.
But I feel like this might connect.
Okay.
I think as evolution allowed for flight if in the physical body, evolution allowed for the concept of flight in the mental body. And so these two things evolved on a similar track, so that an animal that was evolving to have the capacity for flight was also evolving psychologically to be able to instinctually hold the concept of flight to try it. It's like, these things are on my body. I'm going to see what they can do. It's kind of like a baby that's like, I have these legs and I have these, it's like you're just exploring, you're grabbing your own feet, you're sucking on your toes and you're trying to walk and you're trying to crawl. And it's like, you as a parent aren't necessarily every day demonstrating, okay, getting on all fours, like teaching them exactly how to crawl. They have an instinct for how to use their body to the capacity that they're given through the gift of life.
I see that. Well, babies also learn through modeling.
1,000%.
So
they do.
maybe,
and they learn through fucking up and getting hurt and like, it's all of the
the first flying dinosaurs saw like, I don't know when insects first came around or started flying, but maybe they were like, oh, that huge bug that's roughly the same size as me, so I can sort of translate the concept. Like, that looks cool. I wonder if my flabby arms can be wings.
Let's fucking go.
Maybe.
There's no way to know. No one's ever researched this.
I haven't watched Land Before Time in a while, but I don't think they covered this.
They didn't, but oh my God. They covered the depths of my trauma. They did that.
Okay, so the warm-bloodedness. Feathers, for example, plenty of non-avian dinosaurs had them. Evolution just allowed the birds to co-opt the insulating, flashy structures to take to the air. The same was probably true of fur, with sparse proto-hairs preceding full pelage.
Okay. So
I think that means like a full coat, a consistent coat. Like
right, like we have
not
hair all
fur.
over our bodies.
Yeah, they were probably just little whiskers and then they just went all over.
Like the perimenopausal ones that are starting to sprout up around my nipples.
Do you pluck them?
I sure do, because I'm cool with a lot of body hair, but those are just freaking me out.
And they're thick?
That's a personal boundary. They are wiry. It is a full-blown just pube, but they're not curly. They're like straight.
Oh my God.
And I haven't gotten one like on my nipple, but I feel like I get them all like I mean, I'm talking about it like I have an abundance of titty hair. Whether or not I do is personal to me. But yeah, they're like straight and robust.
What color are they? Like
Dark.
blonde?
No, they're dark.
Really?
It's like a pube.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, your time will come. Your time will come.
I'm excited.
I am like for surezies in the early stages of, I'm like in perimenopause. I can definitely feel that this is happening to me. My body is going through some
excited for you.
changes. I am too, although if my ancestry tells me anything, I will be menstruating like well into my 50s. So,
oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
There's not a cutoff?
Generally, there's like a blanket approximate time when
But it
that
can last for like 15 years.
Oh yeah, and you aren't technically in full-blown menopause until you've gone like a whole year without a period. Naturally, not with like I barely get a period now because I have the arm implant, but that's different.
Okay, for real. We need
To
like some
study
sort of formal
our hormones?
education at least every 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck else are you going to learn about menopause? We didn't learn about that in school, not the specifics.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's a wild time though. My hormones are definitely changing. Things are Things are sitting in ways. Things are aching in ways. Things are growing in ways. Things are getting furry in ways.
You're like a tide pool teeming with life.
I'm teeming with life, hormonal life.
Nothing's familiar. Everything changes every 6 hours or so.
And if you thought I was batshit before,
see me at midnight at a full moon.
honey, wait till the full moon.
My lunar pull is strong.
Also, speaking of the full moon, another movie that you need to watch
Full moon?
is Moonfall.
What's that? That sounds like a video game.
It
Skyfall.
is a disaster movie wherein the moon is going to crash into Earth.
That's like the plotline of Despicable Me.
Well, the reason why might shock you, and I can't spoil it. But let's just say I consider myself a megastructurist now.
Oh, like the moon is hollow, that whole thing? We just talked about conspiracy theories involving the natural world.
Baby, I know. I know.
I
Just
think moon
watch
being
it.
hollow,
Just
that
watch
should be your
Moonfall.
next drunk dive.
Just watch Moonfall and then tell me you don't think it's possible that there's a space monster inside
You
of
just-
the moon.
Just watch Moonfall.
You just fucking watch
Just
Moonfall.
watch Moonfall.
Which I was high when I watched, and
What? You don't say.
I regret to say that for the first 20 minutes of the film, I kept referring to one of the leading ladies as not Halle Berry because she looked a lot like Halle Berry, but like didn't look like Halle Berry. And then 20 minutes into the movie, I went, wait, is that Halle Berry? And my friends that I was watching it with were like, yes, that's actually Halle Berry. We thought you were kidding. And I was like, no, I thought it was a lesser known actress or an unknown actress who just looked like eerily like Halle Berry. And much like the moon, everything started falling apart inside of me.
I didn't know what to believe anymore.
I didn't know what was hollow and what was a moon.
And Halle Berry's on the moon now. She's in Apollo 15.
Well, you clearly haven't seen the movie. You don't know what you're talking about. But she is an astronaut, and she did go to the moon.
Back to the protomammals.
I won't apologize.
I didn't ask for an apology.
I know. I was starting to say in my head, I'm sorry, and then I talked myself out of it.
But then instead you said out loud, I won't apologize. That's the kind of... It's like you run into a stranger at the grocery store.
I won't apologize.
I was going to, and then I talked myself out of it.
No, my Midwestern sensibilities would never let me bump into anyone without saying, oh, sorry about that. I'm not even thinking it before I'm saying it. Even if it wasn't my fault, I'm still automatically saying it.
Always.
Oh, sorry about that.
I was at Hy-Vee yesterday. I was trying to buy diapers. I was Googling the
That's your
difference
first
between. I was Googling the difference between swaddlers and cruisers. Because they're the same size, but they're two different choices. And I was like, why? And this whole wall of just teal and yellow boxes.
Oh, no. The option overwhelm on diapers would have me in an early grave. That baby would be orphaned real quick after like the first run to the store for diapers.
There's also baby dry, which is a third category. The fuck are we talking about?
Isn't the goal for all of them to stay pretty dry?
And for all of them to cruise and swaddle?
The swaddle versus cruise I kind of get because I feel
for the same size.
Yeah. But you know what? Babies come in all shapes and sizes. And just because they might be the size of a swaddler or a cruiser doesn't mean they're cruising yet.
You're absolutely right. My own bias was creeping in, but that's neither here nor there.
It's still fucking confusing. You're staring at a wall of diapers. You don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. So I was like totally zoned in to my phone trying to figure out. And then of course I go to the website and they have the chart that's like the check marks by the things that have the things. And then it's like, this isn't helpful at all.
When I'm already stressed with option overwhelm, if you hand me a chart, you may as well hand me a gun because I'm done.
Like, fine. Yes, the answers are now right in front of me. That doesn't mean I'm absorbing or comprehending any of it.
For me to figure out from a chart?
A chart?
No, I got married mostly so that someone, when I'm overwhelmed, can just go, here's what you do. That's like, I mean, I love Bill for so many reasons, but that's not a small one.
Just light your way.
Oh, yes.
Light my fucking way, because I'm over it. I'm over this forest path.
It's too winding.
This like bats, cobwebs,
diapers.
I can twist my ankle on.
It's too much.
Anyway, I'm in the aisle staring at the diapers. I'll get back to the protomammals.
And I won't apologize.
That's what I should have said. But this guy all of a sudden is like right next to me trying to reach for something. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I like moved over. And then I was zeroed right back in on my phone trying to figure this out. And I still hadn't moved over far enough. I was still blocking the hand soap.
Never move for a man.
And he was like, he kind of laughed and he's like, sorry, it's one of those things. There's always someone right in the way of what you need. And it was just the two of us in the aisle. He didn't say that like verbatim. Like he was polite about it. But he was just kind of laughing about it. And I was like, and I said, oh my God, I'm still in your way. I'm so sorry. And so then I moved all the way out of the way.
Oh, you just moved 1 inch again.
And then I had only moved like 2 inches the first time. I was so in the chart zone trying to figure out the
love this
chart.
For you.
And so then he finally got his fucking soft soap, hand soap, whatever the fuck. And I said, I'm just Googling the difference between Pampers Swaddlers and Pampers Cruisers. And he fully stopped and he's like, sounds intense.
I don't know how to respond to this. Is
I know.
Cool
I think he thought
leave?
I was starting to engage him, but really I was just excusing my spaciness.
Oh, never engage him specifically.
No, I was also really high, so that was probably 80% of the awkwardness.
There's genuinely no better way to go to the
intense.
Grocery store.
I'm not going to the grocery store midday on a Monday
without a little herbal reinforcement. No, absolutely not.
What's the point?
No.
Jesus, grow up. Okay. Protomammals. Even further back in the evolutionary tree were protomammals like the cynodonts, which was obviously protomammal, a precursor to mammal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking protomammal.
Keep up.
And those are where fur, like as we know it today, it likely began to evolve.
Cool.
And by the way, cynodont means dog teeth in Latin. Ugh. So if you want to go to the drive, this will be on the blog. I have some images of cynodonts. They're so cute. They're like fat weasels.
Wait, what? It's like a weasel and a lizard.
Yeah.
It's like a weasel head and weasel fur on like a lizardy body.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. Like it's got like kind of ridges like a alligator.
Okay. You may not have the answer to this question. And I'm going to go ahead and tell everyone.
Okay.
that I won't remember that I even asked this. So, like,
Okay.
you don't have to answer it. But do we have fossils of these creatures? Like, how do we know they existed?
We have fossils of them.
Hell yeah.
I actually think they have
we
like
got perimammal fossils?
Yeah. Fossilized bones for sure. I saw a
Hell
picture
yeah.
of the most complete fossilized skeleton that they have of these.
It's so crazy because there's like no way we have fossils of obviously every organism that existed at that time.
Yet,
We know a lot, but to think that that's the tip of the iceberg of what we know makes me feel scared and small.
yeah.
So I'm going to
But
back
doesn't
away
it feel
from
good
that
to feel
thought.
small?
Sometimes it really does.
Doesn't it feel good to be like, I'm not that important?
I'm not
Whatever.
that important. I'm not
Let
that
go.
important.
Let it go. You're not that important. And that's a great thing.
You do what you can with the time you've got, and you hope you left something decent on this planet. And that's all we've got.
Be important to yourself and the people you love. That's all that matters. You're not going to be important to history.
Oh, God. But my
Well,
delusions
there's
of
one way to be
grandeur make
important to
me want to
history.
be important to history. Also, free Luigi.
I can't even cite any headlines I saw today, which included they're seeking the death penalty. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, okay. Cynodont means dog teeth in Latin.
We are
These-
2 paragraphs into Lucy's segment.
We had a really long break. Okay. These animals lived in the Triassic period, like I said, millions of years before the scaly dinosaurs as like we think of dinosaurs.
Right.
They also lived in Pangea. So the way that Pangea broke apart to kind of create what the continental structures that we have today. The place where they're finding a lot of these kinds of the cynodont animals is in what is now Brazil and like South America.
Cool.
The smallest of the cynodonts are called mammaliomorphs.
Oh,
Get the fuck out of here.
Mike, could you be cuter?
No, because they're just centimeters long and they use their little dog teeth to eat bugs.
You shut your mouth.
No.
Shut your mouth.
Mammaliomorphs.
Mammaliomorphs.
Tiny little guys.
I'm Googling that. Googling.
Yeah. Okay, from Encyclopedia Britannica. The pelts of fur-bearing animals are called true furs when they consist of 2 elements. You have your dense undercoat, which is called the ground hair, and your longer hairs extending beyond that layer, which is called guard hair.
Okay.
The principal function of the ground hair, that undercoat, is to maintain the animal's body temperature. And the principle of the guard hair is to protect the underlying fur and the skin to keep it away from rain or snow.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. You're guarding from the elements, whereas the undercoat is like keeping the warmth on the skin.
I love it.
Pelts that lack either element are not considered true furs, although they are still used commercially as furs.
I'm not a truther. I'm a true fur.
True fur. Where were you on January 6th?
Yeah.
So Persian lamb, for example, has no guard hair, so they don't have the long hairs that stick up, while the kid and the pony possess no ground hair.
Oh.
So baby lambs, and I don't know what a pony.
A foal.
Well, whatever. I just
A
took
baby
it from
horse is a
Britannica.
foal.
I didn't say foal. I said pony.
I know you did. I know what you said.
But I think these are referring to the lambs.
Oh, okay.
An adult lamb has no guard hair. They don't have the long
An
hairs.
adult lamb is a
but
sheep. A lamb is a baby sheep.
What's a kid? Oh, a goat.
A kid is a baby goat.
Okay.
So there's no such thing as an adult lamb. That's your first mistake.
That I would have skipped that whole fucking sentence. Let's just...
Moving on.
Men in Black. Zoo. Okay. I beg you to venture a guess as to what the hairiest animal in the world is.
Hairiest animal in the world. Hairiest, not furriest. Hairiest.
Well, fur is hair.
Oh, fuck me.
Most dense. Think about density. And think about the reason for that density. We're not talking about like a big animal, so it has the most fur.
What about a seal?
You are so close.
What is it?
A sea otter.
Oh, I was like, it's got to be something that the density keeps water from making contact with like the skin.
You are exactly right. With up to 160,000 individual hairs per square centimeter.
No, absolutely, absolutely not.
That's like solid. A sea otter's fur prevents cold water even from reaching the skin.
Boom. I'm so fucking smart.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy how smart.
It's insane how smart you are.
Thank you.
Also, porcupine quills are technically hairs.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's too much.
So leave it to the dog people to literally split hairs when it becomes to dog hair versus dog fur. And I think that we can apply this across animals, hair versus fur. So the hair tends to be smoother and silkier, while fur can be more coarse or fluffy. So dog hair typically grows continuously and has a longer growth cycle, whereas dog fur tends to be just a certain standard length, and then when it's done, it falls out, it sheds.
Yeah, Burke, my Yorkie poo, had hair.
Yeah.
For sure. And that bitch
probably had
never
both.
stopped growing. Oh, I'm sure he had both.
Yeah.
Callie was definitely a fur girl.
She was a fur girl. Yep. So like when you're wearing your black leggings and there's hairs all over it, that's actually fur. It's shedding fur.
Yeah. Yes.
Dogs that have hair probably require regular trimming.
They do.
While dogs with fur may shed seasonally. Hair is often associated with certain breeds that have a single coat, such as poodles or Afghan hounds.
Oh, I love those dogs.
I have a picture of it.
They're so extra, and they all look like Cher.
Those are the skinny ones who look like they're wearing a wig.
Yeah,
like
they're
full
greyhounds
straight-haired
in
wig.
full body wigs.
Greyhounds in drag.
Yeah, they're amazing.
But they can have the long coats too. Well, I guess that might be hair. I don't fucking know. Whatever. This type of coat might be hypoallergenic because it sheds less.
Okay.
But fur, on the other hand, is more common in double-coated breeds like German Shepherds or Huskies, which have a dense undercoat for insulation and the longer outer coat for protection, like we just talked about. Dogs with hair have a greater need for grooming since it doesn't really fall out as frequently. And because of that, dander can get trapped in the hair, and that causes it to become matted.
Yeah.
And that's when you see like the homeless dogs that like their fur is all one chunk.
Yeah.
It's because it's hair and I haven't been groomed in a long time.
Yeah, that's really sad. I mean, it can happen with fur too, but yes.
Yes. So I said we weren't going to talk about the modern fur trade, which we're not, but I did want to discuss how humanity has relied on fur along with other animal products to survive, evolve, and develop diverse cultures.
Yeah. I think fur has played a really important role in certainly indigenous cultures. And I'm not like inherently against fur for obvious reasons. But yeah, it's like, you know, we got to fucking colonize it, and capitalism like wipes out all this shit and cruelty. And the modern fur trade is rough.
And I mean, the first European settlers, I'll say, that came to what is now Canada and the U.S. were fur traders. Like we talked about that in the Hudson River episode. And, you know, a lot of the exploration of this continent was driven by the fur trade, for better or worse. Basically, all that is to say is that it has historically been a big fucking deal.
It sure has.
I found this Vogue article about indigenous artists who use fur for sustainable design. And I just thought it was super interesting. I have a quote here from Megan, it might be Megan Anashinabe. She's an artist. She says, "Fur has always been a part of our lives, whether financially for our livelihood or keeping us alive in the cold winter months." So she is an Anishinaabe artist from Sandy Lake First Nation in Canada, who is now based in Wawota, Saskatchewan.
Cool.
She creates all her handmade beaded mukluks, earrings, mittens, and hats out of hides or furs that she often traps and tans herself.
Very cool.
There was a video in the article of her just tanning this massive hide, and it was all, you know, roped up, and she was just just doing it herself, start to finish.
Yeah, it's badass.
She says, quote, "We'll often disperse the meat to our family or anyone else who needs it."
Mm-hmm.
The use of fur, specifically the conception that killing animals for their fur is cruel and outdated, is controversial. Using fur is controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Fur farms and the industrial fur industry, I would argue passionately, are cruel and terrible for the planet on a lot of levels.
It's like once you colonize the sustainable use of fur, it's going to get real fucked up.
It's always, yes.
Yes.
We can't have nice things.
No.
So many commercial brands have switched to faux fur, like my shawl that I've been wearing.
Mm-hmm.
I got it on clearance from Express a really long time ago.
Yeah, you've had that motherfucker for a long time.
Long time. And the entire state of California has outlawed selling real fur. I think they did it in 2023.
Interesting. Anywhere? Like new real fur? Or
I'm sure new real fur.
Yeah, because there's a lot of vintage fur, which is the only fur that I have. I have like one fur coat that was passed down from my grandma.
Yes.
But I don't buy new fur.
I don't even know where you would go to buy a new fur.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You think I have that kind of fucking money to be buying fur? I can barely afford leather.
I can barely afford bills.
Yeah. I can barely afford pleather at this point,
I can barely afford cruisers or swaddlers.
What's the difference?
It's not price.
There's no way to know.
I have no idea. But this use of synthetic furs comes with its own environmental implications too, such as sustainability, microplastics. What do you think this shit's made out of?
Yep.
And their non-biodegradability. This will last forever.
Forever.
Ugh. Quote, "But given how indigenous artists source fur, often hunting, cleaning, and treating it themselves in small quantities, in addition to utilizing the rest of the animal, the meat, the bones, the organs, all that stuff, those communities have a much smaller impact. Indigenous peoples are not contributing large percentages to the production volumes for the global market. In fact, the indigenous approach to eliminating waste and designing with purpose can even act as an industry guide toward a more circular future."
Sure can.
And a lot of
indigenous practices in general should be the fucking foundation of how we operate, which is like a huge part of what the land back movement means, that like they steward the land and know how to fucking treat it with respect and sustainability, so that we can, I don't know.
learned this lesson so many times over.
Fucking long
all
ago.
over the world.
Yeah.
All over.
I know.
The fuck are we doing?
Well, I mean, white folks gonna white.
Ugh. Sounds about white.
Sounds about white. Correct.
In a lot of indigenous art and clothing, how the fur and really the entire animal is used has a lot of meaning and cultural importance. It's all very intentional. So Yupik artist Golga Oscar says, quote, "We think of ways to best represent the animal and have a strong spiritual connection with them. If we were to use wolverine fur, part of our tradition is that we have to color it in red ochre because wolverines are a sacred animal. It has to be honored in that way." Also worth noting on a socioeconomic level, food in a lot of these Alaskan villages is really fucking expensive. So hunting is already crucial to the community anyway.
So use every part of the animal. You have to use it to feed yourself.
You have to use it to feed yourself, to construct homes historically, probably not so much anymore, but yeah. So, and keep yourself warm, clothe yourself. No, I mean, the fact that it's being incorporated into art and this beautiful thing, that's just a byproduct of the fact that we have always depended on these materials. I do have some really gorgeous pictures of some of these artists' pieces. Those will be on the blog. Another noteworthy example of using fur in art is German-Swiss artist Merit Oppenheim, who in 1936 created L'Objet, or The Object, which is a teacup saucer spoon set covered in delicate Chinese gazelle fur.
So I see this in the drive, and it is indeed gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of freaks me out because it's like activating all my texture averse, like thinking of getting hair in my mouth while I'm eating. But obviously,
that's one of your greatest bits.
I know. But obviously, this is to behold and not to actually drink out and eat with. Like you'd wreck it.
Obviously.
Yeah. And it is a beautiful piece.
This piece is one of the most celebrated pieces of the Surrealist movement. It currently lives at the MoMA. And from the critique that I read said that basically something as like feminine and refined as a tea set and like the idea of tea and all that being covered in this primal, totally recognizable, it's like foreign but also super basic fur. Like we all came from this.
Yeah. I mean, it is like evocative to look at.
It is.
Because you have, I can't speak for everyone, but I have like a visceral reaction to looking at it. Thinking of how it would feel like not only on my hand, but like on my mouth is
I think
wild.
the way that the fur like is arranged on it.
Oh, it's so intentional and gorgeous.
It looks so natural. It looks like this grew fur naturally, has evolved to grow fur, especially like the kind of twist around the neck of the spoon. That just looks like a deer butthole to me.
Like a little cowlick. It's really fucking cool.
Yeah. So obviously I am trying to put a lot more importance on the indigenous use of fur in art, but this is a very famous piece and it gives me the willies. I love it. Okay, so when it comes to forensics, it can be really tough to determine the source of any given piece of fur or feather because a lot of these techniques can apply to both. So techniques like multi-band imaging, which is using different kinds of light to observe material differences and like how they change in different environments. So different kinds of lights, UV, infrared, blah, blah, blah. Digital microscopy, so using a microscope. Infrared spectroscopy and spectrophotometry, which we've covered, which we have a very real solid understanding of exactly what that is and how it works.
Yeah, we totally get it, and we've already explained it to you, so we're not going to do it again.
Also, accelerated aging, which I'll get to.
Oh, God, don't.
I'm already living it. According to the American Museum of Natural History, my second home, I wish, using digital microscopy, characteristic anatomical features in fur and feathers may be observed and used to make a general or exact species identification. Basically, looking at it under a microscope, there's a good chance you can tell what, at least like a general direction of where you're
You can figure it out.
In fur, such features include the shape and size of scales on the fiber cuticle, the size and character of the medulla, which is a central open network present in some animal fibers. So if it exists at all,
it narrows it down considerably. Okay.
And the average diameter of the fiber overall, because again, I said technically a porcupine quill is a hair.
Yeah, but it's a thick, coarse, stabby one.
Versus like the undercoat of a mink would be a very, very thin hair.
And extremely soft.
The advanced aging thing uses UV light to induce photooxidation of the keratin. So it ages it artificially with UV light because that's the primary aging component when it comes to keratin. And thus showing how the chemical degradation happens over time, which affects the protein structure and can help to indicate where the material came from.
Cool.
So there's lots of different tests depending on how much you already know about whatever material you're handling. DNA-wise, this works the same way as it does for human hair. You can get mitochondrial and nuclear DNA from the follicle or the shaft. So we've talked about how you can pretty much get the mitochondrial DNA from the shaft, but the real nuclear DNA is only from like the bulb. The follicle. So the problem with dogs and cats is that it's not First of all, if they're just shedding fur, you're not going to get the follicle necessarily. So it's pretty much limited to the mitochondrial DNA.
Makes sense.
This is my understanding. Also, it's not usually necessary to like analyze the DNA of the dog and cat fur, and therefore uncommon. And we don't generally have a full database for individual animals' DNA.
Right.
That said, I'm going to tell you about my case.
Okay.
So, on July 5th, 2012, a 46-year-old man named David Hilder called the Shoreham police station in Shoreham by the Sea. No, not even. Shoreham by Sea in England.
Oh.
You guys got to get your fucking town names.
I mean.
I say this every time.
Every time.
Hilder told the operator, quote, "I would like to speak to someone. I think I've done something serious. This morning, I found a lot of empty Nurofen wrappers in my pocket."
What's a Nurofen wrapper?
Nurofen is like ibuprofen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I guess they come wrapped.
Sure.
Over there in Shoreham by Sea. So, but it's just ibuprofen. Like, it's a kind of a weird thing to be like, I found all these empty wrappers in my pocket.
Yeah, I'm freaking out.
When asked if he needed an ambulance, he replied, quote, "I need to speak to a copper first. I think I have killed someone."
Oh, crikey.
Crikey. He waited for 2 police officers to arrive and willingly went with them to the station for questioning. The officers noted that Hilder looked dirty and disheveled, acting confused and rambling incoherently. When they asked what he meant by saying he thought he'd killed someone, he kept repeating, "I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know what I did, I don't know what happened." Hilder struggled to remember exactly what he was concerned about. One of the cops later recalled, quote, "He said he was having flashbacks as if he had done something. I think he said words to the effect of, 'If I've done what I think I've done, then I'm going to kill myself.'"
Oh my God. Ugh, okay.
But he wouldn't say what it was he thought he might have done.
Right.
Investigators quickly realized something's up.
Something's off.
He told them he was worried he may have taken an overdose, though he didn't specify what substance. It wouldn't have been the ibuprofen. You know, he was taken to the hospital for evaluation while investigators searched his apartment, which was in a town like 40 miles away.
Okay.
I think. And it's not, there are some details of this case that aren't like
that are
100%
unclear.
clear.
Yeah.
His apartment was somewhere. Surprisingly, they didn't find anything that they thought was suspicious. So they go back to the station or the hospital and they're like, "Hey, we didn't find anything in your apartment." When they told him this, Hilder seemed visibly relieved, telling officers, "It must have been all in my head." Oh, what a relief. I must have imagined that I killed someone.
Yeah.
Whew.
Something tells me, because of what this podcast is.
Special thanks.
Yeah. That's not how this turns out.
He was discharged from the hospital and the incident was written off as a weird but innocent man with probably some mental health issues, but like he wasn't obviously dangerous.
Okay.
A couple days later, 43 miles away, a group of students were walking on South Sea Beach in Hampshire when they came across a suspicious-looking trash bag.
Oh, no.
Inside was a human man's torso wrapped in a pink shower curtain.
Ooh.
Just the torso.
Ooh.
Authorities were called and more remains were found scattered elsewhere on the beach, including a matching pelvis and a set of legs.
Oh, no.
The parts were determined to belong to 30-year-old David Guy. So they're both named David. I will be using their last names.
Yep. Thank you.
His injuries suggested he'd been stabbed in the chest sometime between June 30th and July 3rd.
Okay.
So everything was taken to the lab where investigators found 8 hairs on the shower curtain that the torso had been wrapped in, which were later determined to be cat hairs.
Ooh.
And someone put 2 and 2 together because when the cops in the other town had gone to search Hilder's apartment, they noticed he had a cat named Tinker.
Oh, Tinker is singing like a canary.
So I could not find a photo of Tinker.
What if he has multiple cats and their names are Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, and Spy? And do I need 4 cats now so that I can do that? Bill is doing a video shoot at a cat cafe as we speak, and he sent me a video of it earlier, and I was like, yay, bring home leftovers and all the cats you can carry. He didn't respond.
He walks out with 6 cats under his coat.
It is cold here today. He probably is wearing a coat that he could definitely put a couple cats in.
At least 2.
Come on.
I couldn't find a photo of Tinker. There was a photo of a cat on an NBC article. But
that cat looks
too perfect because the cat looks so nonplussed.
I couldn't find photos of the pets in my case either.
Okay.
I don't think they often prioritize making sure.
Well, that's bullshit.
The pet mugshot is included.
Excuse me. Tinker broke the case, and we'll get to
Tinker's a hero.
Obviously, Tinker broke the case because this episode is called Crime Solved by Fun.
He tinkered around with it and came to this conclusion.
Yeah. So anyway, this is not a picture of Tinker, but I wish it was.
Tinker is in our hearts.
Tinker, yeah. Turns out David Guy, the victim, was friends and neighbors with David Hilder. Guy lived in a camper van near Hilder's apartment. Mm-hmm. People in town, so they were friends. Yeah. People in town called David Hilder Big Dave and David Guy Little Dave.
Aww.
So Little Dave, our victim, was 30 years old. Big Dave, the other Dave, was 46 at the time. So age difference, I think there was like a body size ratio difference, hence the Big Dave, Little Dave.
Sure.
Their friendship was known to be sort of up and down, at times kind of volatile.
Interesting.
Guy, Little Dave, was said to have accepted food from Hilder, and Hilder let him shower in his apartment. He fed him sometimes. In return, Guy was supposed to take care of Hilder's cat, Tinker. But one day when Hilder returned home to find his place a mess and Tinker neglected, he beat up Guy.
Uh-oh.
So there was violence in their relationship, and there was definitely a power dynamic, an unequal power dynamic there. Hilder worked as a scrap metal dealer and frequently rode his bike around town.
And that's Big Dave.
Big Dave.
Okay.
His bicycle was very unique looking. It was equipped with like a big, like the size and shape of like a big Rubbermaid tub.
Okay.
Strapped to the front like handlebars. And in the article that I read, and this might just be because they're British, I don't really know if this is a common phrase, but it was described as a butcher's box.
Okay.
But it's a big tub, presumably to ride around town collecting scrap metal.
Well, yeah, I mean, for your errands or whatever, maybe the butcher's box thing is from people biking to collect their meat.
Yes.
It's to carry your shit on your bike.
It's to carry your shit. I think this guy was very definitely using it for his scrap metal business. Both of these dudes seemed very like blue collar.
Yep. Gig workers, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Witnesses, I also think that guy was not employed because he was living in basically a trailer, using his friend's place to shower.
For sure.
Getting food from him, etc. Witnesses claim to have seen him riding this bike around at night near the beach right before Guy's body parts were found.
Okay.
So the cops had quite a bit of evidence, but so far it was all circumstantial, except they did find a small amount of Guy's blood in Hilder's apartment.
Ooh, that's
but they didn't think that was strong enough evidence to arrest him on, because he spent a lot of time at the apartment anyway.
Yep. Okay.
And so they turned to Tinker.
Oh.
This quote from the Mercury. Detectives were able to match the hair to Tinker through the mitochondrial DNA, but because that genetic material was the mitochondrial DNA, so these are the genes that get passed from the mother to the children.
Okay.
But if the child is a boy, then it wouldn't pass it on to their children. It's only passed down matrilineally.
Okay.
So because of that, and just because of other characteristics of mitochondrial DNA, the same markings can be shared among a large number of animals. It's not the same DNA that is super unique to just you.
No, they share characteristics.
So because it's mitochondrial DNA, the strength of that match couldn't really be determined. And so they contacted a cat DNA database.
Oh, hell yeah.
So John Wetton from the University of Leicester.
I think it's Leicester.
Leicester, hardly know her, who had previously helped to set up a similar database for dogs. So John Wetton worked with a doctoral student named Barbara Ottolini. I don't know why I can't fucking pronounce anything right now. To create a repository of cat DNA for the Hilder case. I think they had recently set up this database of British cats, like local British cats.
I feel like this is very British.
Yes. Oh, yeah. But this was the first time they were able to use it in like a forensic capacity.
Okay.
So they gathered samples of mitochondrial DNA from 152 felines across England over a 6-week period.
Damn. Okay. They're working hard.
Yeah. I think they contacted like veterinary clinics and they're like, we're collecting blood samples or whatever samples from cats and we need like a totally random sampling. Can you get consent and send us samples from your patients?
I love it.
Yeah, so they got 152 samples. Wetton said, quote, only 3 of the samples obtained matched the hairs from the crime scene, suggesting that while the match wasn't perfect, this was still a pretty good indication that the hairs on the torso came from Tinker.
Oh.
So I did some math. That's a 1.2 out of 100 chance that the mitochondrial DNA of any 2 cats would match.
That's pretty hardcore.
There's according to this pool, there's a 1-ish% chance that any 2 cats' mitochondrial DNA would match.
If I were a juror, I would find that statistic very compelling.
Mm-hmm. And that along with the little bit of blood in the apartment and the bike and...
Yeah, it's not just... my case is not very similar, but similar in the use of the fur analysis, the animal hair analysis. It's not the only piece of evidence that the entire case hinges on, but it is very compelling in support of the prosecution.
Yeah, and don't you think that's because, like, they can only get the mitochondrial DNA in most cases? It's not like having a criminal database, a national criminal database or anything like that. It's like...
I think it would actually be very hard to hinge an entire case on animal hair or fur because of, the possibilities, the margin for error in the analysis, the forensic analysis, even though the statistic you just shared is really, really compelling. These things tend to be more compelling when compiled with other evidence, even if it's just circumstantial evidence.
Yeah. And this was only one pool with one sample one time. So therefore, it's not really it's not a scientific study. It's just a sample.
Right.
So Hilder was charged with Guy's murder, and during trial, it came out that Hilder had an IQ of 63, which is
pretty low.
An unspecified learning disability, and depression. He also exhibited symptoms of other significant mental health problems, but these weren't named in the articles either. He did plead not guilty. He was either unable or choosing not to disclose exactly what happened with Guy, and he claimed that he did not intentionally kill his friend. Lawyers theorized that the two got into a fight. Hilder lost control, stabbing Guy with a sharp blade before dismembering him and then using his bike to dispose of Guy's body parts along the beach. Guy's head, arms, genitals, and some other organs were never located.
Yikes.
They only found the torso, the legs, and the pelvis.
Well, I mean, that is a risk when dealing with dismemberment, because in smaller pieces, you're much more susceptible to being like consumed by animals, the elements,
Yeah. And as a murderer, the more pieces there are, the more likely that something's going to be found.
Right. Yeah.
You're just creating a half a dozen crime scenes instead of one.
Yeah. Double-edged sword.
Not that I'm arguing he should have killed his friend better.
No,
but-
I mean, the easy way to avoid having to make the choice between dismembering and not dismembering a body is to not murder anyone. But
Yeah.
that's like saying that the only way to avoid, unexpected pregnancy is abstinence. We can't possibly never murder anyone.
It's inevitable.
I'm sorry. Some people need to be murdered.
Well, I'm not suggesting anyone.
I'm not.
Specifically.
I'm not publicly calling for anything.
No,
Just saying, some people,
one could argue.
accidents happen every day.
Okay. We're gonna get fucking disappeared.
I'm already on a list. Take me. I would be so annoying that they would give me back. Like, you want to take me? Great. May you not know a moment's peace. Bye, bitch.
You'll regret this.
I hear they're
rest of your
playing this
days.
podcast on repeat at Guantanamo Bay. Actual review of our show.
Oh my God. Okay. Almost done. In July 2013, a year after Guy's murder, Hilder was found guilty of, I think he was first found guilty of murder, but then they appealed that. And he, at the end of the day, was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to a minimum of 12 years.
Yeah. They had some kind of fight. It got out of hand. He didn't try to kill him, but it happened. Not
And
an
also,
excuse,
he tried to go to the police,
Right.
kind of.
and
I don't
he
know.
it was witnessed that he was unwell, even without the details of what that entailed.
Yeah.
And that does not mean that everybody who is mentally unwell is violent by any stretch.
But with a good lawyer, that could get your sentence seriously reduced.
Correct.
I guess.
I feel that it should have some impact on the sentencing and the charges.
After the verdict, a statement from Mr. Guy's father, Michael Guy, was read to the court, and he said in part, quote, "In time, I will come to terms with my loss, but it is the cutting up of my son's body I cannot accept and never will.
That's hard.
Somehow I will have to carry this pain in my soul for the rest of my life."
Yeah. Yeah.
And as for Tinker, Tinker was taken in by new owners and found a loving home after the incident. Oh, I also wanted to say, in a couple of these articles, the lawyers posited that the fight that ended, in which Guy's life was ended, started because in an argument over Tinker.
Well, that's where I'm kind of like, I kind of get it, Big Dave. Because seriously, Peps and Beans, those are my babies.
I know.
And again, doesn't make this okay. Am I actually going to murder my pet sitter? No. But I could see myself having a very strong reaction to, say, coming home and I had made arrangements with somebody who was supposed to care for my animals and found that they hadn't.
This exact scenario happened to me one time.
Ugh.
I will not give details, but I was incredibly upset.
Yeah. So I can understand, especially in an individual who struggles deeply with mental health and a bunch of co-occurring mental health disorders and potential disabilities. And so that can have an effect on your emotional regulation and how you relate to others. And so they have this animal in their house that is like their lifeline.
Yeah.
And you come home and you find that it's not cared for and everything compounded. I'm not saying I wouldn't pop off.
No, but the
But I also
emotion is there.
The emotion is there. So I'm not saying that I would kill someone and dismember them and scatter their body parts around. Obviously, we are not endorsing that. But again, this is why I could never get on a jury. Because as a juror, I'm like, I get it. If somebody fucks with Beans, yeah, they'll be finding you all over town, bitch.
Well, yeah, the one time I was on jury duty, I was the lone holdout with one other woman because we don't
Which doesn't
trust
make you a
cops.
lone holdout, by the way.
Well, okay, it was
A
2
dual
against
holdout.
10.
Yeah.
A 2 against 10 feels kind of daunting. But we were both just like, cops lie all the time. The cop is lying.
That's their whole thing.
Did I think that guy was probably drunk driving? Absolutely.
Yes.
But I also don't trust the police.
No. No. And due process, like true due process, has to include the examination of all of those circumstances, all of them, regardless of where you land at the end.
Is on the state.
Correct.
And if you're not convincing me,
then you're not doing your job, the state.
Yeah, the state.
No.
Also, the cops just seem so fucking douchey that I was like, fuck you.
I know. Fuck
you.
I know.
The guy, I'm sure he was drunk, but.
I know. Wow. Well.
Anyway, we did end up finding him guilty just because I was like, he probably is drunk. But for the record,
yeah,
I don't trust cops.
No, and you went through the whole process and you analyzed all of the angles. That's your job as a juror.
I know.
You did your job.
Lunch sucked. Okay, I have 2 sentences left. So back to John Wetton from the University of Leicester. Says, quote, "This is the first time cat DNA has been used in a criminal trial in the UK. This could be a real boon for forensic science, as the 10 million cats in the UK are unwittingly tagging the clothes and furnishings of more than a quarter of households."
No, that's very true. But also, given the number of cats, let's think of it in the scope of only cats, not even factoring in dogs and other specifically fur and feather-laden pets. Mm-hmm. The resources it would take to build a database like that are unfucking fathomable. It's not going to happen. We don't even have, and this isn't even just, obviously I know this takes place in the UK, but if we don't have it in the US, I probably don't have it over there, either in this capacity, because it's not like their fucking police force and investigative system is perfectly sound either. I mean, it certainly helped inspire ours, so that should tell you everything you need to know. But there's no way they have the resources to make a true pet database for crime. It's not going to happen.
Oh, no.
It's not going to happen. The best you can hope for is what happened
batches,
here. Yes.
Yeah. I will say, though, I did like a 23andMe type thing, a genealogy test for my cats. So if they did want to do that on a large scale.
I'm not giving my cats information to the government. I'm not doing it. You can't make me do it. They're not taking her spit, her blood. They're not putting chips in my cats.
Cheek swab.
Actually, I want to clarify that both of my cats are indeed chipped, so that if they ever do get lost, that they can be located out of
chip your cats.
But not those kinds of chips. Not those government chips.
Listen.
Not in my cat's back.
Not in my cat's backyard. This is America. But if they did want to do a large scale thing, they just send out cat genealogy tests to everyone. Hey, here's a see what breed your cat is. Mm-hmm. Who wouldn't hop the fuck on that train?
I mean, I also feel like, say a crime took place in my area and the investigation was reaching out to pet owners in the area of that crime, saying like, hey, you could help solve this crime by donating samples from your pets.
Exactly what happened here.
Yep. I could see myself participating in that because
of course you would.
That's
Bitch,
fascinating.
I would run, not walk.
It's fascinating.
A cat under each arm. Take their blood. Yeah. I'm gonna solve a crime.
Yeah. And having been to the Denver crime lab, our issue is not with the scientists that are working within the justice system to find actual perpetrators, like actual justice. Mm-hmm. DNA has exonerated a lot of people, and we need those dedicated teams. It's the fucking cops, it's the government systems, the oversight, the funding. These are the things that we have the problems with. Mm-hmm. Not the forensic investigators necessarily, although there's always corruption at every level.
The technicians individually.
No.
Coolest people I've ever met.
Truly. And very dedicated to making sure that they are presenting proper forensic evidence to seek justice in these crimes. Mm-hmm. It's not usually them that are fucking up the samples. It's usually a chain of command issue where samples are getting
lost or
contaminated. Yes. Yeah. So let's just make that clear. We're not coming for the scientists.
The soapboxes we've gotten on today so far are pretty spectacular. Day. I know.
Anyway, are you done?
I'm
saw saw this video today that I should have sent to you that I almost sent to you, and then I had an Amanda moment, was like, I'll send this later, and then completely forgot about it until this moment.
Of course.
But it was about a study. It was like some white ladies talking about this on a podcast. It was like a study that showed that friends that like roast each other are actually like much healthier in their friendships. Their friendships are more honest and have more like loyalty and dedication than people who are like on eggshells trying to be very sensitive to each other.
Fuck that.
I know. And I was like, I gotta send this to our group chat. Because we are like always softly roasting each other, but it comes from a place of so much love.
Are you done?
Are you done? And I know that if I come into that chat and I'm like, all right, I need y'all to tell me if I'm being a fucking lunatic right now, that those are my homies that are gonna tell me.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna tell me, my sister's gonna tell me.
Like, you're being regular lunatic.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always a loony, but,
Correct.
you know. I'll tell you if you're stepping over, like you did in my dream the other night. I'm still upset with you.
I'm so sorry. And also, that would never happen.
I know. I was shocked. You were like, just leave me alone for like a day. I was like, I'll leave you alone for several days.
She had a dream that I yelled at her for like talking to me every day. And I was like, I would yell at you if you went a day without talking to me.
It stemmed from us not speaking almost all weekend.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was weird.
That was weird. But we were both.
I felt like something was up.
But we both had like stacked shit going on. You had family
guests.
and house. Yeah, like it was. It was not a normal weekend.
No, it wasn't.
I am not mad at you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You tell me if you were.
Of course, bitch. You know I would tell you.
I have my keychain that says, "Are you mad at me?"
I have a shirt that says that because I ask Bill that all the time. Are you mad at me?
Look, are you mad at me?
We are not well. All right. Let's take a break to hear hopefully a very quick word from our sponsors. And then we're going to get into some more weird shit.
I hope we have a lint brush sponsor in this episode.
That would be amazing. I go through I actually, okay, I never say to at me, but like my lint girlies, tag me in what your go-to product is because I'm going through lint rollers. I buy them at IKEA a lot of the time because they're like $1.
Yeah, that might be our first problem though.
The IKEA lint roller.
The Scotch brand I find works really, really well. Also, if you're just at home, get a paper towel, get it damp, and just rub it off.
Okay, let's be real. I'm not lint rolling when I'm just at home not doing anything. I'm lint rolling.
I mean, like before you leave the house. If you're at home on your way out, you think why would I ever suggest?
I know. I was like, I'm just at home. I'm not bothering with it. Anyway.
I am coated in fur right now.
Yeah. Same.
Okay. Quick word. Be right back.
Did you know that Fast Growing Trees is the biggest online nursery in the U.S. with thousands of different plants and over 2 million happy customers? They have all the plants that your yard needs, like fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and so much more. Whatever plants you're interested in, Fast Growing Trees has you covered. Find the perfect fit for your climate and space, and Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to get your dream yard. Order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door in just a few days without ever leaving home. Their Alive and Thrive guarantee ensures your plants arrive happy and healthy. Plus, get support from trained plant experts on call to help you plan your landscape, choose the right plants, and learn how to care for them.
I have lived in my house for almost 10 years, and the yard has consistently been a source of stress for me because I'm like, I have this whole yard. When I dreamed of having my own house that was like a garden and planting shrubs and annuals and perennials and all that stuff. And I just totally have lost all confidence when it comes to landscaping. So when I saw this particular sponsorship roll across our desk, I got so excited.
Yeah.
They sent me a cherry tree, like a Japanese cherry tree. I planted it like a week ago. It's already blooming.
Yeah, I love it.
It brings me such joy. And like I said, I'm not like afraid to plant living things in my yard anymore because their website, they have so many resources if you have any questions. All you do is plug in your zip code at the top and it tells you what zone you're in and like what plants are going to thrive in your area. So whether you're looking to add privacy or shade or just like color, natural beauty to your yard, Fast Growing Trees has in-house experts ready to help you make the right decision. They've got plant experts. Not only do they have these digital resources, but they have like real live people that you can call and get in contact with, and they'll offer growing and care advice. So
I'm obsessed.
You're not in it alone.
No.
This spring, they have the best deals for your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals. And listeners to our show get 15% off their first purchase when using code GALS at checkout. That's an additional 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using code GALS at checkout. Fastgrowingtrees.com, code GALS. Now is the perfect time to plant. Use GALS to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply.
If you are a pet parent like we are, you're always wondering, what can I do to make your life perfect and keep you here as long as possible?
Are you sick? Does your tummy hurt?
Yeah, and you know, I've had animals through many different stages of my life and theirs, and oftentimes have like seen my pet slowing down, having health issues, and you wonder like, what can you do to make them better? And we're here to tell you. Rough greens is like the most amazing thing that you can add to your dog's diet, or the meow greens to your cat's diet. You add this to their food for 90 days and you'll see changes that will frankly amaze you, and they guarantee it. This was invented by naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black. Rough Greens wants to invite you to give your pup or kitty the Rough Greens 90-day challenge. In the first 30 days, you're going to see shinier coats. You're going to see increased energy. By day 60, your pet is going to have a stronger immune system, improved joint function, all due to the live nutrients that you've added to their diet. You know, they're eating the same food basically every single meal of every day without a lot of variety. This is a way to like infuse that elevated natural supplement to their diet that's going to help with their body and their mind and their spirit. At 90 days, you're going to see better digestion, reduced inflammation, improved heart health, and you might even have reduced their cancer risk. Who wouldn't want to do this for their pet babies?
Yeah, just add it to their like dry kibble that's full of preservatives and all that, and it's a supplement for your pet.
Oh my God, Beans is hearing us talk about this and just climbed into my lap.
Oh, she wants her meow greens.
She wants her meow greens.
Fetch a free Jumpstart trial bag for your pet today. Go to roughgreens.com. Just use promo code GALS for that free Jumpstart trial bag. That's ruffgreens.com. And use promo code GALS to just cover shipping. You don't have to change your pet's food to improve your fur baby's health. It's easy. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens or Meow Greens to their food, and it'll do the rest. In a world of true crime, bad habits usually lead to bad outcomes. It's the bad guys who have bad habits.
Yeah, never any of us.
But in real life, it's a bit more complex. And that is where Fume comes in. Fume is a flavored air device. It's not a vape, and it's definitely not a pipe, that gives you a fresh way to take control of your habits. With flavors like crisp mint, black licorice, and peach blush, it's the smarter, guilt-free alternative.
I love my Fume. First of all, it's weighted too, so it's also kind of like a fidget item, which I really appreciate. Like, it feels good in your hand. And then, yeah, it has all of these amazing flavors. My personal favorite is the orange vanilla. I'm a huge fan of that, but I also love the peach one. I like those kind of sweeter, fruitier flavors for my Fume. And it just, like, is such a great alternative to a habit that I know I've picked up over the years. And it just feels a lot better to use than some of the other devices that I might be reaching for. And Fume has already helped over 400,000 people take steps toward better habits. And now it's your turn. Use code GALS to get a free gift with your journey pack. Head to tryfume, that's tryfum.com, and use code GALS to claim this limited time offer today. Okay, so my segment I do have a fur-related crime, and this first quick thing is not fur-related, but I found this while searching for a case, and I had to read it because it's fucking nuts.
Okay.
Okay, so this happened in 2012. The headline, this is from Standard UK. The headline reads, Scooby the dog, a literal dog named like Scooby-Doo,
Oh my God.
makes history after court appearance as murder witness.
Stop it.
Yes.
What kind of dog?
I'm not 100% sure. Because, again, the photos were not of, like, the actual dog, but I saw a lot of Great Danes represented.
Okay.
Like, but, again, Scooby-Doo was a Great Dane, but maybe that was why they named it Scooby-Doo, because they also had a Great Dane, and I kept seeing pictures of Great Danes in the, So, anyway.
I don't really care what it actually looks
Let's just
like.
say
I just wanted a photo in my head. Okay.
A dog named Scooby-Doo has created legal history by appearing as a witness in a murder case. The animal's 59-year-old owner had been found hanging from the ceiling of her Paris flat. Police believed it was suicide, but her family said that it was murder. The dog was in the flat at the time of the death. During a preliminary hearing in the city, the pet was led into the witness box by a vet. A suspect in the case was presented to the dog to see how the dog reacted. And according to court documents, it is said to have, quote, barked furiously.
Oh, good boy.
Good boy. The aim was to decide if there was sufficient evidence to launch a full murder inquiry. So this was in, like, again, the preliminary hearing. It's kind of like a grand jury to see if they can bring charges.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. The legal first took place in the Paris suburb of Nanterre with controversial French judge Thomas Cassuto, I didn't look into him, praising the animal for his exemplary behavior and invaluable assistance. The dog, who shares his name with timid cartoon crime buster Scooby-Doo, was believed to have been with his owner during her last hours 2.5 years ago. During the hearing, a court clerk was asked to, quote, record all of the dog's barks and to note its general behavior throughout the cross-examination.
Unfucking believable. They had like a child psychologist, but for the dog.
Yup. Because of its controversial nature, the hearing was held behind closed doors with public and press excluded.
Oh,
While
they didn't want to distract him.
No. While prosecution lawyers welcomed the appearance of the dog, others doubted that the animal's behavior could be interpreted as legal evidence.
Grow up.
Right? Fuck off. I trust a dog more than I trust a cop. But some dogs are cops, okay? Paw Patrol.
Even if this person isn't guilty of murder, he's guilty of something.
Paw Patrol is
trust him.
propaganda, and y'all need to stop showing it to your kids.
Oh my God. I'll give you one guess who watched Paw Patrol.
We all know. Okay.
Okay.
So 2.5 years since the death of the animal's owner are the equivalent of about 17 dog years.
Oh, God.
Quote, that's a long time for a dog to remember what went on, said a legal source close to the case.
That's not the same thing.
It's the same.
No, it's not.
Quote, getting a pet involved in a case of this nature is a novel idea, but a lot of people are extremely skeptical. It's a tragic case, but the appearance of the dog did cause a few laughs. He's naturally been nicknamed Scooby.
Oh, that wasn't even his real name then.
I mean, I think it was. I think his name is Scooby-Doo, and they just are calling him Scooby. I don't fucking know. But it's also a translation. So, whatever. A spokesman for the Palais de Justice in Paris confirmed that the Nanterre case was the first time a dog had appeared as a witness in criminal proceedings in France.
In France.
In France. I didn't look deeper, but he said, quote, it was almost certain it was also a world first.
Well,
there's no way
given like France's like medieval history, remember we did all the animal crime where like the animals appeared in court.
Pigs,
there was like
cows,
ducks.
Yep, ducks, beavers, and ducks.
I can't believe that's the first time a dog was a witness in court.
I mean, probably not. Maybe they meant in like modern world history.
Well, they should fucking clarify.
Yeah, they fucking should. I agree. But my case today is not that. Oh. It is really horrific. Gird your loins.
Okay. I'll keep chugging away at my vodka lemonade.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do this. I'm not sober. So here we go. The tragedy that is this case unfolded on the night of March 9th, 2001. An Erie, Pennsylvania man named Stephen Trieber set fire to his home while his girlfriend, Denise Riddle, his 2-year-old daughter, Jessica Trieber, and their dogs were asleep inside the home. While Trieber, Ms. Riddle, and the dogs managed to escape the inferno, 2-year-old Jessica remained in her crib.
Oh, God.
A neighbor who rushed to help after seeing smoke testified that Ms. Riddle was frantically screaming for help from a second-story deck on the house. While
so she was out of the house.
She was out of the house, but still up on the structure of the home. And so was Trieber, and so were the dogs. And the neighbors...
Were there stairs to get down or not even?
I don't think so.
Ooh.
But Trieber stood calmly with his arms folded. Shockingly, when asked about his daughter, Jessica, Trieber reportedly inquired about his dogs first. Maybe he had gotten down. This is different. The girlfriend...
Okay, I'm like, he's standing on a burning deck.
No, he had gotten down. We'll get to how. The girlfriend, the dogs are on the deck. His daughter is still inside.
And he just doesn't give a shit about anyone but the dogs.
Yep. And so I guess when he was asked, Trieber reportedly inquired about his dogs first and then said, quote, "The firemen will get her, Jessica. She's probably dead anyway."
Meaning the little girl?
His daughter. His 2-year-old daughter.
Oh, God. Some fucking people. I don't get it.
Oh, he's sick. He's sick. Like, depraved, sick fucking man. And you know what? Nope. We're just going to get to it.
Okay.
Firefighters arrived quickly thanks to the neighbor calling 911. So Trieber didn't even fucking call 911. They found Jessica's door was left wide open and were able to retrieve Jessica from her crib. But tragically, they were unable to revive her. Given the circumstances of Jessica's death, an investigation by the fire marshal started immediately. His findings indicated 2 distinct points of origin for the fire, one in the basement and another in the garage. The fire marshal concluded that gasoline, clothing, straw, and candles were used as accelerants in the fire.
Gasoline, clothing, straw,
and candles. So he had made bundles with straw and clothes and then gas poured on it and then a candle left to light it in a delayed manner is what it sounds like to me.
That's like the Game of Thrones thing. With the green
so that he
shit.
had a little bit more time to prep and not be in the vicinity of the fire exactly when the fire started.
That
he could be up in a different room.
Fucking sinister.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, God.
So this obviously suggested a deliberate and planned act of arson. Adding to the suspicion, the home's security system had been disabled by a wire being cut.
So he cut it.
Mm-hmm. The fire marshal also noted that a chain ladder affixed to the house that appeared brand spanking new, from his bedroom, was... He gave himself an out.
Wow. Fucking wow.
So the ladder, he was like, that's a brand new ladder. It doesn't have any rust or any signs of wear and tear. It basically could have had the Home Depot tag still on it. It looked that fucking new.
And it's like an escape ladder.
Yes, it is.
It's
literally those
for,
chain fire ladders for
blowing out your gutters.
No. It's chain. So it can be rolled up at the top of your second or third story window. And then if there's a fire, you can untie it and it's affixed to the top and it rolls down so no one can just climb up at any time. So and then you can climb out.
That is the sole purpose for
it's
that ladder.
Literally a chain fire ladder. It's only for escape from a fire. You cannot really use it for anything else.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So again, this detail hints at a pre-planned escape route for Trieber specifically. Members of the fire and police departments corroborated the neighbor's account, stating that little Jessica's bedroom door was open and that Trieber remained unusually calm, only asking about his dogs when first responders and fire people were working on the fire.
Okay.
Even when police informed him that they were searching for his daughter, Trieber allegedly responded, well, it's probably too late anyway. Trieber was taken into custody a few short weeks later and charged with criminal homicide, reckless endangerment, and multiple counts of arson. This wasn't Trieber's first dabble in arson either. This isn't, obviously this is pertinent to the case, but it's not a key point in the case. But he had been connected to, but not faced charges for some reports said 9 other fires since he was like a teenager.
9?
Yeah, and he was a landlord, and some of the fires had happened on properties that he owned.
Holy shit.
But they'd never had enough evidence to like directly connect him to them.
Yeah.
So he couldn't.
Where there's smoke,
right.
There's an arsonist.
So it's like, and fortunately, no one had died in any of these previous fires. But like, for fuck's sake, this is a pattern. This is a history. Can we take this shit seriously? He killed his daughter. It's so fucked. So,
God.
The testimony of Miss Denise Riddle, Trieber's girlfriend, painted a picture of a controlling man. She described his strict household rules, such as no shoes indoors, and the bedroom doors were always to be closed and, when possible, locked, which is particularly interesting considering that on the night of the fire, Jessica's bedroom the door was wide open, but he had like explicit rules about the doors being closed, and doors that like had locks on them had to be locked. So I'd assume
just
like
at night,
yeah,
in general,
just in around the clock in general.
That's really weird.
It is weird,
especially with young kids.
Yep.
Was it just her? Was she the only kid in the home?
Yes, she was the only child in the home. Ms. Riddle also had an adult son. He was like 22, who sometimes stayed at the property, and he was there. He was not there at the time of the fire, but I believe he did testify because I know we mentioned him later in the case. So we'll get to him. But yes, Jessica's the only like child in the house.
And that was his child with her, or
no,
not
his
with
child
her?
from a previous marriage.
Okay.
Yep. So Ms. Riddle also recounted a prior instance where Trieber had forbidden her from going to a local bar, even threatening to burn the bar down if she went there.
Don't forbid me from going to a local bar.
Yeah, how fucking dare you? I just whipped my head so much a hair clip fell out of my hair. Like, that's how aggrieved I am over this.
Remember when you whipped your ponytail and like spilled your drink?
Yes, there's a gif of it that lives on the internet forever.
It's a full gif.
So,
oh no, your glasses fell off. That's
my glasses did fall off, and I almost spilled my wine. It was a hectic moment. So during the fire itself, Miss Riddle testified, the girlfriend, that Trieber escorted her and their 2 dogs out onto the deck and then like went back inside, but then claimed he couldn't rescue Jessica because the smoke was too bad. But Miss Riddle also recalled not observing that much smoke at the time that he had gone back inside to try, quote unquote, to rescue Jessica.
And her door was wide open. In a particularly chilling detail, she stated that after Jessica was pronounced dead, this is wild, Trieber instructed her not to speak to the police, and when Ms. Riddle expressed her grief over Jessica's death, he replied that they, quote, could always make another little Jessica. Don't worry about this, child. We can make another one.
Yeah, which Jessica isn't her kid, but she's obviously been in this kid's life. He's not getting
it that it's a child. It's replaceable.
That response sent fucking chills down my spine.
This is like psychopathy with the building of the little
sick.
Bundles of the candles and everything. Ugh.
It's sick. So we'd find out in court that the investigation uncovered a lot more than the obvious indicators of arson, like those piles that he built in the different rooms.
No,
it's like that alone.
Are so spooky.
That alone is enough to be like, yeah, this was an intentional fire. But there was this fucking guy. Okay.
Oh.
So weeks before the fire, according to Miss Riddle, Trieber had become fixated on fire safety and made Ms. Riddle and her 22-year-old son, Eric Keith, who was sometimes at the property, but I think he rented one of Trieber's apartments. So he didn't like live there full time, but because she was dating his his landlord was dating his mom, he was over at the house. So he would have them like practice fire drills and fire evacuation routes from the house.
What the fuck?
In the month before the fire, Trieber purchased straw on 4 separate occasions and acquired 2 5-gallon gas cans.
Straw?
Yep, which was in those piles.
Ew.
He bought gasoline in 2 separate spots on the day of the fire.
Hold on. He he put the gasoline in 2 different spots?
No, he purchased it at like 2 different gas stations. Yep. So he had gotten the straw, the 5-gallon cans and stuff in like the weeks before, but the day of the fire, he filled those gas cans at 2 different gas stations.
Ew.
So gross.
Why not just one? You're already buying gas.
I mean, he didn't want to look sus, but guess what?
Too late.
Yeah, you're fucking sus. The week before the fire, he installed the chain ladder as a means of escape. 4 days before the fire, he called his ADT security, his home security service provider, to update his security system. And so they sent a tech to like upgrade some of his equipment or whatever. And according to the tech who came to the property to do the installation, Trieber chillingly said that he knew how to dismantle the system, and I guess ominously alluded to a fire that might start in his home. Like,
so he's already thinking
he's
about
this.
He's already thinking about his home burning
He's
down.
been thinking about it. A funeral director also testified that during arrangements for Jessica's funeral, Trieber showed no emotion and repeatedly referred to his deceased daughter as it. Yeah.
Oh, that might be the worst part so far.
It's all really fucked up.
Oh my God.
Jessica's mother and Steven's ex, Jody, testified that Trieber had a visitation weekend scheduled for March 9th, but insisted on picking Jessica up early that week to have some extra time with her. And that would have been the time that the fire happened. During the pickup, Ms. Trieber informed him, or like reminded him of her intention to increase his child support payments by about $250 a month.
There we go. There it is.
And I'm not sure what those payments were before that, but like, holy shit.
Wow.
So this interaction appeared to be a significant trigger as his prep for the fire was set in motion after this meeting with his ex, Jody. So this other guy, Jamie Pianta, a friend of Eric Keith, the daughter of his girlfriend, Trieber's girlfriend, who like lived at one of Trieber's rental properties. I think Jamie might have lived at one of the properties too. Because, of course, Trieber is a fucking landlord. Like, he's a piece of shit, so of course he's a landlord. So Pianta worked for Trieber in lieu of rent, like to help subsidize his rent. He was like the handyman for a bunch of these different properties.
Okay.
And he provided some particularly damning testimony. Pianta stated that Trieber discussed his plans to kill Jessica to avoid paying child support, and detailed his intention to use rope, gasoline, straw, and candles to start a fire in their house.
Oh my God.
Pianta claimed that Trieber had expressed those same plans to him and Eric Keith about a month prior during a visit to one of their apartments. Further evidence of financial motive included testimony that a month before the fire, Trieber attempted to increase the limits on his credit cards, his homeowner's insurance, and also tried to buy a new life insurance policy on Jessica, naming himself as the beneficiary. So he's trying to find all these ways to get money. I know.
What the hell?
You may as well have just called the police at every step.
Yeah.
And given yourself away.
Heads up.
Which I always say.
You might as well have kept a diary.
Oh, right. And which I always say, if you're going to be a fucking heinous murderer, at least be stupid so that like we can find you.
Throw your ass out.
Yeah. Not just that. He also changed for some reason, well, probably just to save money. He changed his automobile comprehensive deductible, but not his like collision insurance. So I think he was just doing what he could to like cut his bills. But it was obvious that he was suddenly like trying to find ways to squirrel away or get more money.
Yeah.
And obviously the biggest red flag is the insurance policy on baby Jessica. But Trieber was even more stupid than all of this evidence would already lead you to believe, because despite everything he did to prep for this fire that was directly linked to him, he thought he could make it look like someone else did it.
Well, yeah, of course.
So approximately 6 weeks before the fire...
Why would I stop overestimating myself?
Right. He thinks he's like the smartest fucking genius in the world. So about 6 weeks before the incident, before the fire, he contrived a threatening note and secretly placed it in his own mailbox so that his girlfriend, Ms. Riddle, would find it and report it to the police. The note, which was arranged ransom note style with letters cut from printed materials and glued onto paper, was addressed to Steve and read, quote, "Get rid of dogs or I kill them and burn you out again."
Oh, okay.
So maybe he was trying to like cover his ass for this fire that he was planning and maybe other fires on his properties that he had been linked to but never charged for. That's what I think the purpose of that note was.
So he's trying to make it sound like
someone's out to
okay,
get him.
maybe he did have something to do with the fires, but he was being coerced and blackmailed by someone else to kill his dogs.
No, I think what it's supposed to look like is he is innocent and some like maybe angry former tenant is threatening him, lit fires on his other properties, and then burned down his house.
Okay.
He's trying to make it look like it was a totally
writer.
Yeah. He's trying to make it look like the letter is coming from an aggrieved third party.
Okay.
And I think he's trying to make it look like it might have been a tenant or somebody that felt wronged by him in the past. So he can pin it all on this imaginary fucking person. But he made the note.
Obviously.
So anyway, but we'll get to that.
He had the glue stick.
Yeah. So, well, it's worse than that. So earlier that day, Trieber had called Ms. Riddle and told her that someone was lurking around their home. Like the day that he planted the note, he also like manipulated his girlfriend being like, yeah, I saw somebody wandering around our property, like be on the lookout. And then she finds this note in the mailbox. Like that's fucked up. The shit that he planted. So she called the police, and when they arrived, Trieber claimed that the doorbell had rung earlier, but nobody was there, and that he had found the note at that point that like his girlfriend had left out. But regardless, there were hairs discovered stuck to the glue on the envelope, which like there wasn't human DNA on there, so he probably used a sponge or something to seal it because it's like, I'm so smart, I'm not going to put any DNA on this.
Yeah.
But there's a hair on it. So DNA, of course there fucking is.
If you're a pet owner, there is a hair on anything sticky.
Yeah, he has at least one, but some reports said 2 dogs. So there's fucking dogs in his house. Ugh, DNA experts later determined that one of these hairs was canine and was 1,000 times more likely to have come from Trieber's dog than like any other dog, solidifying the state's suspicion that Trieber himself had compiled the note and was trying to make this look like somebody else did it.
So does that just mean like they took the DNA from the hair and that's what it came up with?
They were able to, because the dogs survived the fire, they were able to get hair from the dog or dogs in their house. And directly
so they compared them.
Compare them.
And they came up with the like 1 in 1,000.
Yep.
Wow.
It's 1,000 times more likely to have come from Stephen Trieber's dog, that specific cross-checked dog, than any other dog.
Cool.
Yeah. Pretty
Good thing
fucking
they
cool.
survived.
I know. Well, because he cared about his fucking dogs. He ushered them onto the deck with his girlfriend. Like, yuck.
He did. He saved his dogs and they sealed his fate.
Yes. So, funny enough, Stephen Trieber wasn't the only one trying to weasel out of this whole situation because, you know, he had tried to pin it on some imaginary stranger, but then after he got arrested and, you know, they were going to court and like we knew who upcoming state's witnesses were going to be, Stephen's mother, Edith Trieber, was charged with allegedly hiring like an ex-con to threaten Jamie Pianta, the friend of Stephen's girlfriend's son.
Oh my God.
The guy who had said like, yeah, I do handyman work for Steve. He's talked to me about trying to kill his daughter to like not have to pay child support. So he, you know, was a state's witness and Edith was trying to get him like threatened to not fucking testify. Now, in fairness, she was later acquitted of this charge. So I guess I can't definitively say whether or not she did it.
Okay.
But I thought that was an interesting detail.
It definitely
and
is.
kind of shows that the apple doesn't always fall too far from the tree.
No.
But facing this mountain of evidence, the jury found Stephen Trieber guilty of first-degree murder, arson, endangering persons, arson, endangering property, and recklessly endangering another person. During the penalty phase, the jury identified 3 aggravating circumstances and 2 mitigating factors, ultimately recommending a sentence of death.
Ooh.
He became the only death row inmate in Erie County.
Wow.
But of course, Trieber's lawyers filed an appeal immediately, and I had to go over this appeal because there were 14 points on it. I'm not covering all 14. But
thank you.
Some of them are like, this guy sucks. He sucks. So he files this appeal, and it makes it like all the way up to the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania.
Oh, God.
He claimed evidence was false and unreliable, that his rights to due process and a fair trial were violated in multiple ways. The Supreme Court noted that Trieber had waived his direct challenge to the admissibility of the canine DNA evidence.
Had waived his challenge.
Yep.
So he didn't challenge it.
Correct. His legal team has the opportunity to challenge evidence like this.
Yeah.
And he and his team waived their opportunity for direct challenge of whether or not that canine DNA would have been admissible in court. So it's like,
okay.
That's kind of out. The court then turned to his claims of ineffective assistance of counsel. Trieber argued that his trial counsel should have filed a Fry motion to challenge the general acceptance of forensic canine DNA evidence. And the state's expert witness, Dr. Halverson's specific methodologies within the scientific community should have been questioned. He also claimed counsel should have challenged Dr. Halverson's qualifications, cross-examined the Commonwealth's canine DNA experts more effectively, and presented a defense canine DNA expert. The Supreme Court, analyzing the prejudice prong first, ultimately concluded that even if the counsel's actions were deficient, Trieber had failed to demonstrate that the outcome of his trial would have been affected at all had the canine DNA been excluded. Because the court is like, babe, there's overwhelming evidence of your guilt.
Bunch more than the dogs.
Including predatory activities, witness statements about killing Jessica.
Oh, God.
Disabling your security system.
The fucking ladder.
The ladder, the 2 points of origin, your calm demeanor, your fabrication of the threatening note. Like, baby, we got you with or without the dog DNA. That was just the nail in the coffin. And he's like, okay, well, you can't believe the claims of Jamie Pianta, my tenant / the friend of my girlfriend's son, because he's dishonest. He's got a reputation of being dishonest, and he's used aliases in the past, and he has bias, and he has mental health issues. And then he was like saying that
Take a number.
Right, I know. Tag yourself. He also contended that his lawyer should have requested a corrupt source instruction for Pianta's testimony, arguing that he was an accomplice in the fire and that he was only saying this stuff against him to get out of culpability. Okay. They were like, okay, well, there's no evidence putting him there, so we're just supposed to take your word for it. Cute. No. So the court noted, for instance, that portraying Pianta as an accomplice would have directly contradicted Trieber's own defense theory of an unknown intruder that he tried to substantiate with the fake note. So it's like, okay, so if you're saying that he was part of it, then who wrote the note? What the fuck? Is he so dumb? So I was just dying.
You should
reading over this court
get
document.
a different attorney.
Because they're just, well, I mean, the attorney is just like, okay, my client wants to file an appeal. Yeah. I guess I'll file it. I mean, of course, you're going to do that just to delay execution. I don't think that there's any thought in this defense attorney's mind that at any point he thought this is going to work. I think it's like, at this point, all I can do is buy this guy time because he did it.
You're up the river.
Yeah. So I was fucking losing it reading this court document because the Supreme Court is just batting away every piddly dumbass fucking claim that he makes. And I was like, the accusation that Jamie was part of it, when the court is like, bitch, you wrote the note, then what would have been the point of the note? I was fucking losing it. So never fear, his appeals were shot down. He remains in prison. And like I said, at least for a while at the time of his conviction and through his appeal, that appeal finally made it to the Supreme Court in, I want to say, 2012, and he went to prison in 2013. So it's like he's been on death row for a long time, and he probably well, I don't even want to say that. He likely will remain there because most states are not carrying out executions anymore. But at least at the time of his conviction, he was the only Erie County death row inmate. Wow. Again, I'm not sure if that's still the case, and things change so rapidly under this administration, especially when it comes to prisons and the death penalty. I mean, not especially, among when it comes to that. So I don't know, but he was then. And either way, he's not getting out anytime soon. He killed his kid because he didn't want to pay $250 more a month on child support.
Yeah.
So he burned his house.
Well,
and murdered his daughter.
He was already a fucking psychopath.
He was.
So I don't think the motivation of the extra $250 carried as much weight as his already being completely depraved and devoid of compassion and
humanity.
And humanity.
Yeah. That man.
That's
so
fucked.
gross. Yeah.
I love that he saved his dogs only for that.
For it to fucking...
Well, I also still agree. There was enough there.
There was plenty, but I also love that too. It's like, get the dogs out. It's like, well, that's your downfall, bitch.
Care about your dogs that much more than your child. Wow.
Yeah, let's slow our roll on that. On that choice.
Well,
but that's my case.
Are you done yet?
I'm done.
Excellent job. Well, thank you so much to Jamie Batchelor and Brittany.
BFF Brittany.
BFFs, thank you so much for this topic. This was a calamitous ride.
Truly. What a roller coaster.
I liked it, though.
I loved it. Great episode.
Thanks for sticking with us, and we will see you next week.
And if you want this ad-free, get at us on Uncorked.
Hell yeah, that's where it's at.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Danielle Sylvan. Music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell. Editing by Jonathan Camp. Our production manager is Andrea Gardner. For photos, sources, and other resources, head to wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can follow us on all the socials at Wine and Crime Pod. If you'd like to show your support and get access to all sorts of wine-fueled bonus content, check out our premium channel at wineandcrimepodcast.com/uncorked. Cheers!
You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.